Hey, everybody, hope you're doing well today. Do you have the bad habit of telling your spouse what to do? In my marriage coaching, I've noticed that a lot of couples do this a lot. They tell each other what to do. They give orders and commands to each other. In other words, they say things like, go to the store, hey, go get some milk, or go clean up your mess, or pick your clothes up off the floor. Well, if that's you, stick around because I'm going to talk about why telling your husband or wife what to do is hurting your marriage and how to correct this. Welcome to the Turn It Up Marriage Tips and Tools Show, where I provide faith-based tips and tools from God's Word that will strengthen your marriage and make it better. Hi, I'm Coach Kelly DuPée, pastor, police chaplain, Christian marriage coach, and author of the book, Turn It Up, How to Have the Lifelong Marriage That You Really Want. Hey, well, telling your spouse what to do may seem innocent and not harmful, but it could be damaging your relationship and your marriage. Even if your spouse never complains about this, they probably don't like it because no one wants to be told what to do. It puts you in the place of being a servant, with your spouse being the king or queen of the castle. Telling someone what to do is very condescending and demeaning. So when you're being told what to do, it makes you feel small. It makes you feel like a child. In fact, what you're doing is that you're talking down to them, being condescending and demeaning, and you're taking a position of superiority over them. You really are being their parent and making them take on the role of a child. Now, a parent can and should tell their child what to do. It doesn't work so well with your husband or your wife. In fact, I've had husbands tell me, my wife treats me like one of the kids. So I want to encourage you instead to treat your spouse with respect as an adult who is responsible for his or her own choices. There's 3 suggestions I'd like to make that you can do instead of telling your spouse what to do. The first one is this: make requests with a time element. Instead of ordering someone to get their clothes off the floor, try asking them something like this: would you please pick up your clothes today? Don't forget to include the timepiece too. They need to know when you would like them to do this task. That's a key factor that I think a lot of people miss. And when we don't ask for a specific time, it leaves room for a lot of misunderstanding and frustration, because when you come back and you see that they didn't do what you told them to do or asked them to do, then what happens is that you don't think that they are going to do it at all, when maybe in their mind, all they're thinking is, I can do it later. So be specific. What would you like? When would you like it done by? And then make a request. And remember that a request is always a question. It has a question mark at the end of that sentence. Your spouse now has the freedom to choose his or her reply. They can say yes, they can say no, or give you another option. So be sure, by the way, to say please when you make your request. Philippians 4 verse 6 tells us how to ask for things from God. It says this: do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. So don't be anxious or fearful of getting rejected for asking. And then it says, in every situation, it's always okay to ask, and allow the person that you're asking to say no. They may surprise you and say yes. And then when you ask, be sure to do it with thanksgiving. You see, when you show your appreciation for what your spouse is already doing, that opens up the door to ask them to do more. So be sure to ask and to give them the opportunity to say no or to give you another option. The second thing is to give suggestions. Instead of telling someone what to do, if you have an opinion about something your husband or wife is about to do that you think might have negative consequences, instead of telling them not to do that, make a suggestion. Kind of like this: hey, let me suggest that you might not want to do that. It might get you in trouble. Or another way is to make a suggestion to provide an alternative way of doing something. Remember that there's often multiple ways of doing certain tasks. Your way may not be the only way. As you see what they're doing, you can say, well, you can do it that way if you want, but it might be easier if you did it this way. Once again, you're not telling the person what to do, but simply offering an alternative to their plan. They're now free to choose what to do. By the way, if they don't follow your suggestion, don't make them feel bad by saying, I told you it wouldn't work. They already know they should have followed your input. You really don't need to rub it in. A third thing to do, instead of telling your spouse what to do, is wait until they ask for your advice or input. If your husband or wife comes to you with a problem, instead of offering advice, focus on listening and understanding and supporting them. Wait for them to ask you what you think they should do. And if they don't ask, that's okay. You're letting them choose their own course of action. When someone feels supported rather than told what to do, then they feel free to ask for your advice. And of course, when they do ask, or if they ask, then go ahead and share your ideas. Well, following these 3 suggestions is a great way to not only show, but strengthen the respect and partnership in your marriage. If you have any questions or are struggling with something in your marriage, please let me know in the comments. And if you found this helpful, please share, subscribe, or follow and comment so this message can reach more people. Also, I want to give you a free digital copy of my book, Turn It Up, How to Have the Lifelong Marriage That You Really Want. All you have to do is go to turnitup.coach/75. Well, thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Turn It Up Marriage Tips and Tools Show. Until next time, keep turning it up.